Hello, this week's webinar will be on health reporting. So we're going to take you through a couple of the key reports for that. On the side of your screen there is a question panel, and you'll be able to type questions and then Graham will be able to answer them. If we don't get to answer your questions in the time, we'll come back to you after the webinar. And there will also be a quick survey at the end of the webinar so you can give us your feedback on how useful you thought it was. Okay, to start off, if we go to cow's head at the side and then go into health and treatments and then into health reporting. So this report, so what you need to do first is go into properties, and then in here you can then select the start date and end date of the period you want to look at. So if we say we're going to look at the last year, and then from there you can then select the animals you want to include in the report. You can select whether you want to look at the actual herd or if you want to include any historic animals, and then whether you want to include young stock or just the cows. Once you've done that, if you go up to the top where it says codes, and then in here you've got three options. So you can look at your health and treatments based on their categories, or you can look at it by individual health events, or you can look at it by individual treatments. For this one, we're just going to look at health events. So then you get a list of all your different health conditions down here. Then you can scroll down and select the ones you want to include, you want to look at. And then once we've done that, if we put a little tick in save settings so it remembers what we've done, and then click OK. Then here, so what it does, so it shows you from the period you selected, all the animals, it shows you their last calving date, lactation number, and then you can see the date and what the condition that they had was. On the status bit here, so this doesn't show their current status, this shows what their status was at the time that they had the health condition or treatment. And then what you can also do in this one is if you go to summary, so it'll group all the health conditions or treatments together and show you how many cows had that condition within that allotted time. Okay, another thing you can do in here, so if we go back into properties, if you wanted to look at the animals that didn't have a particular health condition or treatment, so if you wanted to see within that time period which animals didn't have a foot trim, you can then go into treatments, and then if you scroll down you can go to foot trimming and then tick this button at the bottom that says select animals that have none of the items selected above. So this is looking at all animals within that time period that haven't had a foot trim. And then if we click OK, so then here it gives us a list of animals that hadn't had a foot trim in that time. So that would be quite useful if you're wanting to look at animals that maybe haven't had a particular vaccination or a foot trim. So if we just close this one, and then from our health and treatments board here, if we then go into health event analysis, this is a new report. So if we go into here, this looks at the health conditions. So you've got your health conditions down here, and then it breaks it down into how many cases of that health condition you had in a particular month. And then at the end, you can see your total for that health condition over the period. If you go into properties again, you can change your start date and end date. And then you can also go up to codes, and again, you can select which health conditions, or you can do it by category as well. And then you can put a tick in your save settings to make sure next time you come into the report, it's all saved for what you want to look at. You can also look at it by days of milk. So you can see how many animals had a particular health condition at a certain time in lactation. You can also, with this one in properties, change your day and milk periods. So it doesn't have to be what it is when you first go into the program. So if you want to look for, the first 60 days in one period and then so on, you can do that in here. And then again, it shows you the number of animals, and then you get your totals at the end. And again, you can look at it by lactation. So this one, so it breaks down by each lactation, shows you the number of animals on there as well. So if we just close that one. So what you can also do, which you might find interesting to do, is if you go into the cow's head and then go into herd and then report writer. So you can now pull out health events in report writer as well. So if you wanted to go into a bit more detail of what animals you wanted to look at on here. So if we go up to the green plus, and then so here we've got our categories, our available items within those categories, and you've got your selected items here. So if we have a look at, so if we can say, we'll do animal number, and then you just use the little blue first arrow just to move that available item into the selected column. So we can do animal number, and then I want to look at days and milk. So we've got reproduction, days and milk, blue arrow again, that moves that across. Last calving date, we'll have that one as well. And then we also want to have, let's see, the cow's current status, and also the number of times she's been served. So I've got all my reproductive information I want in the selected column. So now I go back to the category and scroll down, and you've got a new one for health reporting and treatments. So for this one, we're just going to go into health reporting, and we want to look at a particular health condition. So as that process, and now if we go to next, so then this enables us to filter on what we want to see. So at the moment, we've got a lot of animals down at the bottom. So we've got 2,076 animals. That's far too many that I want to report on. So if I use the little blue plus at the side here, I can then filter on different things to bring that number of animals down to what I want to look at. So this one, I'm going to go down on the category and look at health reporting, and again, select health. So, and I'm going to look at the number of cases of metritis we've had in the last year. So under the drop down arrow here, I'm going to select equal to, because I just want to look at the one health condition, and then on the next box you can then select what health condition it is you want to look at. So scroll down. So there you can see, because I selected the metritis, that number of animals has gone down from over 2,000 down to 20. And then if we go to next again, and then it'll ask you to give the report a name. And then when you go to next again, you can then select what animals you want to look at. So if you want to look at it by animal type, status, again, you can use animals on farm or historically. And then once you're happy with that, if you just click finish, that then gives you your list of animals that have had metritis in that time period. And then you can, so you can then click on the headings at the top. So if you, at the moment, it just sorts on animal number. But you could, if you wanted to do it in days of milk order, or you just select the heading above that you want to look at.